I've compiled another list for this morning. There's a number of items on there, so you got to kind of bear with me. But anyway, I'm going to get to these pins in a second here. Now, let me start off with this crash that happened at LaGuardia. That's one of the big airports in New York. That apparently happened overnight. Now, if you've been living under a rock, there was apparently an Air Canada, aircraft landing, and it had struck and tore off the cockpit of the aircraft. It had hit a fire truck. Some type of miscommunication somewhere, between the crew on the fire truck and the air traffic controller controlling the aircraft. Somehow miscommunication somewhere. I'm not going to place blame. I'll leave that up to the NTSB to figure that out, and hopefully, like this has happened once or twice. It's rare, but it does happen. Let me get to these pins. Now, Walmart had these. These are like 20 of them for $7 or something. Probably take me a few weeks to lose all these because I'm real bad about losing pins. These I said 20 of these for $7 at Walmart. Now I pick up. I've had a bad oil leak in there for a long time. Now I've got the parts ordered. Some of them I'll get off Amazon. So seal and stuff I'll probably get from O'Reilly's or AutoZone or someplace like that. I'll wait till I get everything, and maybe this next weekend. Have everything together. I can pull the engine out, do the seals and stuff, and then put it back. I'll just, be very careful where I drive. Just dump enough oil in it to keep it running, and kind of nurse my way along. Let me get to Cain and Abel. Now I've covered this story a number of times. I've read the Bible. I don't know it intimately, but I certainly know the main events there. And Cain and Abel certainly one of the main stories. If you've ever read the Bible, I'm asking, does that story make any sense to you? Now, let me give you a story. Now, Abel, raised animals. He would sacrifice animals to the Lord. The Lord loved it. And Cain, would raise. He was a farmer. He would raise plants and stuff. And Cain would sacrifice plants to the Lord. The Lord hated it. So Cain killed his brother Abel. Now, does that make any sense? I don't get it. If anybody understands that story, let me know. Now, how many ads do you see? One type or another said, we treat you like family. Now, Cain and Abel were brothers; they were family, and that didn't go well for either of them. Now, after Cain had killed his brother Abel, he had been banished by the Lord. He's given the mark of Cain, whatever that was. That's been debated for years exactly what the mark of Cain was. But anyway, he was banished to the land of Canaan. He got his own land named after him. But anyway, he was fruitful and multiplied. Now, where the hell did Cain's wife come from? That's not explained in the Bible. Did Adam and Eve have more kids? Did Cain have kids with his sister? Now, that's a very taboo subject even for the Bible of incest. That's one of those subjects that have been kind of left vague there in the Bible. Now, if anybody has answers to this, let me know, because me and lots of other biblical scholars have been. I'm not a biblical scholar, but lots of people that have read the Bible have certainly wondered about this for years and years. If anybody understands Cain and Abel, if the story of Cain and Abel makes any sense to you, let me know. Let's see. I'll get to that in a second. Aliens and ghosts. Now, there's a story on TikTok I just listened to a few minutes ago. Now, I'm going to guess this is just some BS story. But anyway, this guy is calling another guy and asking about his wife, Tina. And the first guy, the guy that's married to Tina said, "Are you messing around with my wife? Are you having an affair?" And the guy goes, "No, this is not what it's all about." This guy goes, "One of my family members went missing 6 years ago, and I've been trying to find my family member." The guy goes, "Well, what about it?" The guy goes, "Does your family member, does your wife Tina have a scar on her hip?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, my wife Tina has a scar on her hip. Does she have a birthmark on her left shoulder?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, she's got a birthmark on her left shoulder." And the guy goes, "Well, I've been looking for my brother Tim for 6 years. I think my brother Tim is your wife Tina." The guy goes, "What the F? You're telling me that I've been having sex with a man, I'm married to a man for the past 5 years?" But that time I just had enough. I said, "This is probably some BS story. I just presented on TikTok, just two guys mess around. So I really don't know the ending on it." But anyway, I thought that was kind of a crazy story, just worthy of all the other all the other BS we got here on the various crazy internet media, social media platforms. Now let me get on ghosts and aliens. Now I'm going to ask this several ways. Now on ghosts, do you believe in ghosts? Now I'm going to categorize ghosts several different ways because you can believe in ghosts several different ways. Now, if you're a religious person, if you're a spiritual person, if you believe that we have a soul, now, once we're dead, that soul is a ghost. You're a ghost, and I mean, a lot of people believe in heaven. A lot of people have a particular image of a particular religious different belief in an afterlife. You're go. I mean, you may not be hanging around here earthbound as a ghost, but you're somewhere in the spirit realm as a ghost. Or do you believe that there are a few spirits that choose to stay earthbound for different reasons? Let's see, a young mom might want to see how her kids turn out, or maybe somebody is a victim of a particular violent crime and want to see their perpetrator punished for their actions. I mean, there's a number of different reasons someone, as a spirit might choose to stay earthbound, or maybe they're just confused. Maybe they believe in hell. Maybe they believe that once they've left the earth plane, they'll go to hell, and they got no desire to burn in hell forever and ever. I mean, there's a number of reasons a ghost might choose to stay earthbound. Now, let me get to space aliens. Another very intriguing. Now, I certainly believe that but considering the vastness of the cosmos, considering how big it is, it's hard to imagine. You kind of, I mean, we can't even see. Visible light is not, the. Oh, how do I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense, but we can't see the entire universe. We only see part of it. This visible light doesn't travel fast enough for us to even see the entirety of the cosmos. It's that immense. So considering the fact that, I mean, it's hard to imagine there's not some life out there somewhere. Maybe it's something close to us. Maybe it's something similar to our biology, but exists, maybe little microbes, or maybe it exists so differently that we wouldn't even recognize it for life. We could see it here, or maybe it exists in a different plane of existence. Maybe it exists at a different frequency, and we couldn't even perceive it. It's just so different than what we consider life. We don't. Then the second part of this question: do you believe the aliens are visiting us? Do you believe that they've got a reason to visit here? Maybe they're friendly, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just interested in our planet to exploit the resources here. There's some that believe that. There's others that believe that life, similar or different than us, has existed here a long time. It's hiding themselves. Maybe it's underground. Maybe it's been here for a long time. Something similar to what we consider life, or maybe something completely different that's existed here for years and years. I'm just curious what my viewers, my subscribers might take on, different types of life forms that may have been here, that may be visiting here, or maybe maybe they exist but have no interest in our puny little rock here that we call Earth. I'm just curious what you might think. Let's see, have I covered everything? I think I've covered everything here. Yep, I got everything. Okay, bye for now. Bye con Dios. Ciao.